Yo, it is Thursday night. That means collecting uncensored, at least this Thursday night. Sounds like I've been drinking a lot, but I have not, I promise. Anyways, so I'm super excited about our guest. This is the first time I've had a guest on who is like a YouTuber but doesn't have his own YouTube channel, and it's kind of it's I don't know, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, but I'm super excited about it. Awesome member of the comic book community. Does a lot of appearances on other people's YouTube channels. You've probably seen him on the one I most know him from is Colossus Collector. We just had him on last week, so definitely go and check that out if you haven't seen it already. But this is Dan's X-Men's Comics on IG, and like I said, I'm super excited to have him on. So let me go ahead, let me bring him out, and let's get this thing rolling.
No, you didn't. I did not give you permission for that.
Nobody gives me permission for that. But you will get it as a parting gift.
I did look pretty cool.
Right?
Thank you. So thank you.
I'm just saying. Smooth moves.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, doing really good. Thanks for letting me come on, hang out. Enjoyed the channel. Congratulations on you almost got like 1,000 followers.
Right. I'm super close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's almost 4 years in the making, but I'm right there at it. I'm at the cusp, so appreciate you. Appreciate you.
It, yeah. Oh, and chat. I keep trying to join the chat, but for some reason it won't let me sign in. So let me just talk directly to you, Mr. Akins. I'm nervous. This guy has been trolling me on every comment that I've posted on YouTube or Instagram. So he's following me everywhere I go, and I'm afraid, of where I post and what I post. So I know
Mr. Akins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Cliff.
Hey, you gotta watch him. You gotta watch. He's a spry older man. I'm just letting you know. Like.
Dude. Oh yeah. And Cliff. Same back to you, my friend.
Cliff's awesome. Awesome guy. Yeah. All right, let's say hello to the other peeps in the chat. We got Jonathan from Collectibles to Astonish. What's going on, homie? Thanks for coming out. Up? Renegade Rants Comics. What's going on? Thank you, sir. Man. Appreciate you. Dan is working smarter, not harder.
I think that's in reference to me being on a YouTube channel and not having a YouTube channel.
You know what? Hey, you may have the key, man. You may have it.
Dude, yeah, I couldn't handle like the criticism of the comments. I couldn't, I am fragile. So to be a guest, not do any of the work, and then the host can take all the heat for whatever I say, because you invited me, this is a win for me. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, man. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, first, like non-YouTuber having on, like that's awesome. I'm super excited about it. And the books that I've seen that you show on other like other people's channels have been like super dope books, and so I'm like really curious like what you're gonna bring to this. So really excited about that as well.
Probably nothing I've never posted before or whatever. Like, it's all the same stuff, but you'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I saw that you took, anybody that wants to follow Dan, by the way, his link to his IG is down in the description below. So be sure to go check him out over there. Go give him a follow and stuff like that. Cause I saw you toting your Wolverine 1 across Japan on there. Oh. That's freaking cool, by the way. Like,
right, yeah.
What were you doing over there, and what made you think to bring your book over there with you?
Well, I don't know what I was thinking with bringing it, because it was just a pain in the ass, like, to be like, because I'd always worried, like, oh, it's good, I'm gonna hurt the condition, but it's, ultimately it's like, it's a very fine copy.
Yeah.
But it was my first copy that I ever
had.
Maybe it was, I don't know, 20 years ago or so. And so it had some special, it was special to me. And I guess, like there's that pressure, like I feel sometimes to like post on Instagram, like, oh, I need to post every so often.
Mm.
I don't know why I put that pressure on myself, because I don't know. But I do. And so I thought, well, this would be like a unique situation to bring, the comic somewhere else. Also, on that note, I think it's, what is his name? Oh snap, I'm tripping now. It's dude, I'll remember it. East Bay. Wait, is that right? East Bay Comics. He's in San Francisco. He used to post a lot of pictures of him like holding up a comic wherever he would go on a weekend. It would just be like his hand
Mm.
with the comic, and then some like cool thing in California in the background. East Bay.
Okay.
Comics. Pretty sure that's right. And so I was a little bit inspired by him too with that. And Angel is his name. Is his real name. Anyway, and yeah, so I just thought it would be cool to go around and find some locations. To be honest, like probably the coolest locations I didn't get because I felt like a piece of shit, kind of like asking, take a picture of me with my comic book. Like we're on vacation. Like what? No, she's super cool. Like she always supports me with that. She was the one who, when I brought it up, she said, "That's a great idea." So I was like, okay, if you agree with that, I'll go with it. And Cliff, to answer your question, my wife, no, she does not collect comics. She's a crafty person. She likes to do crafts and stuff. But we do and have read some comic series together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Like Walking Dead around like that when zombies were super hot.
Yeah.
We really liked reading that series together.
What brought that about? Like, did you ask her, or was she like, hey, I like this TV show. Is there a book? Can we read that? Like, how did that come about?
With Walking Dead, I think like I picked it up for a while. It was like in my pull list. And she knew that, like some other, influencer somewhere probably mentioned it. A lot of times, like that's how she'll turn on to certain comics. Like she really liked like Bitch Planet, Why the Last Man, and some of these other ones. And so she heard about those on social media, and then or like a show came out and she wanted to give it a try, a try. So that's kind of where she comes from. If the Venn diagram connects, we will catch it together. That's kind of where that goes.
Did y'all have some good conversation over it, or was it just like a...
Oh yeah. Like, especially like with Walking Dead, that was probably the one that we were most into and couldn't wait for the next batch to come out, or the next. It was really frustrating doing like a pull list and getting one copy. Even though, gosh, I feel like it was coming out like twice a month or something, but it felt like it was never enough. We always preferred to read the trades where it's like 6 issues at a time. You can just read that all in an hour. But oh yeah, like talking about what emotionally pulled at us, or what characters we really like, what we think is going to happen in the future. That was really exciting to talk about. It was great.
That's super cool. That's something I wish that me and my missus would do, is pick up a book and like actually read it together and like discuss it and stuff. I think that would be awesome. Is there any advice that you could give to a husband and wife or something like that, to be like, if y'all are wanting to do something like that, go about it this way?
No, I mean, like it's. I guess like if I was going to say anything, it's just like you both have to be interested in it. Like, because if one person tries to drag the other person into it, it's just not going to be great. One person may just accommodate because either like, hey, I'm trying to spend any kind of quality time with this other person.
Right.
So like they'll get, and maybe that's worth it for them. And in certain situations, maybe that is worth it for you to do. But I'm not a like a marriage therapist, relationship expert, like whatever interests you. But I have learned, and I am still learning, how important it is to both have your own things, but also to make time for each other. That seems to be, you're going to feel like you're missing something if you don't do both.
Well, and also not like downgrading or scoffing at the other's like hobby.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Definitely. I would agree.
Yeah.
Are you saying that, is this something personal here?
No,
Who's scoffing at who now? 22.
no, no. My no, my honey is like super supportive of like my comics, and she's bought me some of like the nicest books that I have in my collection.
Yeah.
So, but like I like making it a point to talk about that sometimes when I have guests like you on who have supportive, it seems like supportive spouses, because I feel like that's like a very important part of a relationship. And because I know so many of us in the hobby don't have that supportive spouse because either he or she does not get it or whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
totally.
so, yeah.
Totally.
So like I just I want to, in a roundabout way, like I want to encourage those couples to like come to some kind of some kind of agreement, some kind of something to where like they can hopefully flourish and like make the relationship better. And like comics don't have to be a bad thing, they don't have to be a bad word in the relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would imagine that like it comes about like you said it, like with the support, like you just need to
Mm-hmm.
support each other regardless of whether you understand or not. What you do understand is that it's important to the other person, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
as long as you support them in that, it's going to be an amazing relationship, right? But
Right.
you take that for granted. If you only are on comics all the time and you don't give enough time to your family, and I've done that,
Yeah.
before. It's like not only will you feel like you're missing something, but like there might be some resentment toward that, and maybe that's why your spouse may feel like, why are you
Yep.
comics are so dumb and you spend so much money and da da da. They can find reasons why they're stupid, because really
Right.
it is, like there's a lot of reasons why it's like really dumb, but so don't give them that reason, right? Like you got
Right.
it, so you'll figure out where the threshold is that you need to give them a little bit more, because that is ultimately what's most important. Every time when I make a really bad comic purchase, the first thing I think is oh, I love the things that are really important are my relationships. I don't care about comics anymore. Go back to number one, figure out what's important. Um,
Yeah.
by the way, let me say what up to my comic collecting brother, Colossus Collector, too.
Oh
He's been with
yes.
me since the beginning. He introduced me to the YouTube world, and so I can only have him to thank for, he's sent me into stardom. So I appreciate you, brother. And
Nice.
yeah, so thank you for that. And
I did.
Saga, that's a great. Oh, go ahead, 22.
No, I was gonna say I did shout out Colossus Ryan in the description below as well, because I know you are part of his Council of X. That's a live show that he does as well. Are you not?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll be a member just like any other member of the Council of X, and then he also has a show that we co-host together. It is very similar, but it's more like a hot seat show, kind of like this, where we pull on one new X-Men collector. It's called the X-Men Collector Chat, and we'll have
Mm.
one person come on, and we'll talk to them about their X-Men collection and how they got into it, yada yada, all the same shit, and then once they are finished, if we think they're cool enough, then they can enter the Council of X. There is a,
Initiation
prerequisite.
process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I should start a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants then to like combat y'all's Xavier School here. And
You're a little further away from getting onto that show. Just, if you're interested, you gotta watch yourself here. You're on.
there's got to be a Magneto in this. Like, come on. I may not have the hair for it, but maybe.
If you get the method acting down, you might be able to play the role.
That's great. I think I do laugh too much. Let's see.
Are you kidding me? This is why we watch you. We love that.
Because the laugh?
Dude, it's part of the personality. I cannot. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Renegade says you're a genius, by the way, for not having your own YouTube channel and just, kind of
Oh,
being a
thank you.
nomad.
Thank you.
So, Kenneth Bird, let's shout out him real quick. He is in the chat as well. Renegade says he just
What's
started
up?
following you on
Oh,
IG.
appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Mr. Akins, did someone say super hot zombies?
Hey now. 22 told me don't show any hot nude zombies on
Yeah.
the show. So because you never know how how you guys will react. So
Sorry, Mr. Akins, no titty books.
yeah.
I apologize. Bedazzle's in the house. What's going on, Bedazzle? Thank you for
What's
coming out.
up?
Appreciate you. Renegade says studies show couples that read zombie books to stay together. I mean, I can kind of see that actually. Like, hey, it's just me and you at the end of the
You gotta
world.
survive, yeah.
Chicago Schulte's in the house. What's going on, sir? Thank you for
What's up,
coming out with
Schulte?
us. Appreciate you. Saga is the answer. My wife is a Potterhead and she loved my Strange Academy 1 through 20 run. Facts.
Yeah,
So,
that's a great series. I
uh,
get Potterhead, by the way. That's great.
what you never heard about that?
I mean, no, I know that there's like people who are really into Harry Potter, but like I've never thought about pothead,
Right.
not, that's genius. Never heard
So,
of it.
I'm part of another show, and one of the guys on there, he's a Potterhead,
Mhm.
and they told me that one night, and I was like, "What the fuck are y'all talking about?"
Mm.
And they're like, like people that are in Harry Potter, they're Potterhead. I said, "No, I've never fucking heard this shit.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I mean,
This
like
is not
Nolan
just
Blunt,
common
like,
knowledge to everybody."
Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah.
Oh man, fun stuff. Let's see. My wife has entered the chat. Colossus Collector's here. Oh, that's awesome. Schultze, I turned my wife into a nerd. She won't admit it, but she's kind of proud that she knows Marvel, DC, and Lord of the Rings lore.
Oh, dude, like with speaking of which, like the Marvel movies and everything, my sister, she always, little comic books on the side or whatever, but like she knows the lore of Marvel more than me now because she watches all the movies. She's totally into it. I've only seen a handful of them, to be honest. So
Okay.
yeah, she knows it way better than me. So I'm glad that it's become a little more mainstream for folks to accept.
Right. Here is Renegade's link, by the way. Mr. Akins had that up. Absolutely, sir. Thank you for all that you do. Appreciate you. There's my honey. Hey, honey. Love you bunches. My southern brother, S. Vaughn 82 in the house. What's going on, sir? Appreciate you.
What up?
There's Ryan's link as well.
Cool. Yes.
Schultze, I've already recruited one.
Oh God. Battle. Yeah, for sure.
The comic book YouTuber that laughed, right? Yeah, that's me. I need a crown
Yes.
now.
Taking on that full-on villain persona. Yeah.
That's great. Yo, let's go ahead and let's get this started. We've been in here for I don't even know where the ticker is. Oh, there it is. Almost 20 minutes. So, but it's been fun though. I've enjoyed it.
Sure.
So, like I ask everybody, there's all different types of collectors. You got key collectors, run collectors, character collectors, cover collectors, all shapes, sizes of collectors.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see yourself as? Nick, you can be more than one, but what do you see yourself as far as a collector?
I've done it all, and then I've gone away from it all, and come back. I'd say that like if I'm gonna categorize it, it'd probably be closer to like a run collector,
Okay.
and then and like key collector in a certain way. I've I would only read it until like, and I bang my head against the wall with some books that I read because I would keep reading it and I'm reading it and falling asleep and thinking, why am I reading this? I'm like, because I have to finish this. I have to read this so I have read it. And then I'll come to a point where I'm like, the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm not enjoying it. Why don't I just do what I enjoy? This is my time. So certain things I've absolutely loved to read, like I mentioned before. And then other things, I just don't have the interest for it. So not to like put it down, that's just where I'm at. I'm also like a pretty slow reader. I think like me and Ryan are kind of similar as far as like we really want to know the stories. We do enjoy the stories, but like there's only so much time in a day. There's other things we enjoy doing. So
Yeah.
I've had a pull list back and forth, but ultimately, like the thing that drives what I like to collect comes down to the collection. Like it's just I like to collect the things that I enjoy, whether it's because I like this character, I like this cover, I like this storyline, and it's something that I need to know too.
Mm-hmm.
I've just like learned what I enjoy buying or what I enjoy doing. Um, and like money is also like kind of a big factor in what I enjoy collecting. I enjoy the value of the comics. Not to say that that's like the key motivator that drives me, but if it falls under all of those categories, the more likely I am to pick something like that up.
Okay, I got you. Well, so before we get into the things that you like to read, because I'm sure you have something to show, I want to know the things that you've like, because you sound like my people, honestly. Like I feel like I'm right there with you. Like I've fallen asleep, God knows how many times reading stuff that I'm not enjoying, but for the fact of like the most recent Black Adam. I had that entire 12 issue miniseries, and I was so excited to read it. By issue 4, I was like, "Fuck this book, I'm done." And but I was like, "No, I have all 12 issues. I have to read it. I have to know the
You bought
story." Yes,
Yeah. So yeah, you have to. Sorry.
right. Yeah. And so now I'm like, it's gone. Like it's in the back room now. It's ready
Yeah.
to be sold to some other victim, and they can
Yeah.
have their whatever.
They're victim.
So like,
You
what are
sucker.
stories though that you like forced yourself that you were just like, oh, I don't know why I'm doing this. Why me?
Um, there's been a lot, but like if I'm gonna do like the hottest take,
Yeah.
for me being an X-Men collector, it's well, gosh. Um, it was trying to read anything. Okay.
The build up to this
It's
is the
like
best part.
it's like okay, something that I couldn't stand as a kid was reading a storyline and having to cross multiple titles. So, for
Okay.
example, like when X Force was around, having to like I loved X Men. I wanted to read the X Men title, and then to learn that I had to read an X Force book to follow along in the story.
Mm.
I didn't know like which like when I was picking up like back issues, it's like I didn't know what was coming next or what I had to pick up, and I found myself buying the comics and not reading them,
Yeah.
and it just felt like I was, it just didn't make much sense to me as a
Yeah.
kid, and I suppose that so my quick answer for the hottest take is like later X-Men stuff or like the X-Men adjective list stuff. Like it's just like
Okay.
I was just like I need to read this because I'm an X-Men collector,
Yeah.
and I just didn't enjoy it. So like
Yeah.
so what I would read is the same shit that I already read, or I just read, like whatever new indie stuff is coming out, like, or like I love one shots and I love miniseries because they have a beginning and an end. And I've just
Yeah.
been duped so many times, including The Walking Dead. When I was reading that, it was just like it's the same thing over. They find a group, they think they're cool, the group backstabs them, and now they have to escape, and then they have to start over again. Like, you know, I get it. Like I get the formula, and whew, let me take a break here. I'm getting all heated up. So it's just like, don't torture yourself. Like, yeah, reading is important. Read the things that you want to read, I just like buying video game systems. I wait for all the great games to come out. My friends will tell me what's great. Spend my money on that stuff. I don't mind being late on it. I don't need to have it
Yeah.
right away. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. All right. Before we get to the stories that you do like, I want to hit the chat up real quick. This is a funny comment that I have to do a story on. My honey says, "Dan, you are pretty unstalkable, by the way." So my
Oh,
honey, do what?
tell me, what does that even mean?
So I'm looking for pictures of you the other night because I'm like, I have to make this intro. Like, I have to make this happen. And we're going through your IG, and I'm like, no, like, he doesn't have glasses on in this one. He does have glasses in this one. He's got a hat over here. His hair's long, and the lighting's not right. So I'm like, no, I have to
Right.
have, like, some consistency from picture to picture. So she starts looking for you on Facebook.
Oh,
She finds God knows how many Dans out there because, I was able to
very
get your
common
last
name.
name. Do what?
Very common name.
Right.
Dan
Right.
Club.
Well,
Dan
even
Gang.
the last name. And she was like, she was convinced several times over that she had found you. And then she's like, no, this one's not right either. But she's really good at like Facebook stalking people. Like, I
That
know that
makes me
sounds
really
horrible.
happy to hear. I appreciate that. I
But yeah,
lost my password to Facebook, like, gosh, 15, 20, like 15 or 20 years ago, 15 years ago. And the email was like, all the things went wrong and I could never log back in until I got so frustrated. I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm off. I'm offline. So that's me. I'm sure if you found my old profile, which is still active somewhere, some Russian hacker is probably running that thing. So, they can
it's
have it,
Omega
whatever.
Red.
Yeah.
It's Colossus as Omega Red.
Yeah.
I've recruited another one onto my team now, so I've got Mr.
Of
Akins.
course. Of course. Mr. Akins.
Dan is an MJ collector. MJ is the way.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. We can get into that. This is the therapy session, right? Where we're like, what the fuck are you doing, Dan? Like, with your collection. I have no idea. No, I know. Like, I'm going. We'll continue.
Well, so what is it about the Mart Jewelers? Because I know you're trying to get like you'll get the regular, you'll get the direct, the newsstand, the Mart Jeweler, and you'll even go as far as getting the is it Australian or is it Canadian price variant?
Yeah, I don't know why I draw this line, but like I refuse to go for foreign issues, but like
Okay.
I must have the issues that that came out the same year, the same time,
Okay.
like in the same print run. So I feel good about that. Must I have them, and must I have them all? I don't want to commit to that. Big B will tell this story often about me. Like I told him, dude, I can't collect every UK price variant, Canadian price variant, Mark Jeweler, I can't collect all those, newsstand. And he says, well, why not? And that was a mind blowing experience because why not? Yeah, I guess I could. And
It's your collection.
yeah. So, that is kind of like right now, I actually do have the plan to collect all of the Uncanny X-Men newsstands and directs up to 142 because that's what I really care about.
Okay.
But that's only and I'm only like maybe I don't know 8 issues away or less, 5 maybe.
Wow.
But that's because it only starts on 122. That's the issue number where direct edition started. So
Okay, I got you.
and then when it comes to the Mark Jeweler stuff, it's like I also because I've have the run now that I really love, which is John Byrne, Dave Cockrum, and Chris Claremont X-Men. Now that I've fulfilled that, it's like I'm either upgrading or finding copies that I don't have, like those variants. Mark Jeweler being the rarest, or unless you count double covers. So any of those I'm really interested in, especially high grade, because you just don't see them as often. And
Okay.
so and they just kind of, if I'm searching the same stuff all the time, eventually those things come up, and I jump on them
Yeah.
when I get the opportunity.
So it is the rarity, though, is why it's appealing to you.
Yeah, it's more rare than the
Okay.
standard copies.
Right.
For the era that I collect in, like newsstand and direct, it doesn't really make a difference as far as like the rarity, as far as what I see. But Mark Jewelers, um, Pence, I still want, but I'm like not quick on them because like there's still a big gap in like the price, the value of them. Like, so I feel like I'll have the opportunity to get them cheap when the right copy comes around. I search so often and I see them so often that I'm willing to, or like I keep telling myself, like I gotta wait until it's like a hell yes type of a purchase, rather than being like, oh, I need to get all the direct and newsstand, I'll just go buy them right now. No, I see them so often. That's all that I hunt. So I will wait until I see the right copy, the right price. Cliche, but that's the plan. Oh,
Nice.
hey, Green Machine. Yeah, let's chat. Hit me up on Instagram, please, if you got some. I only have probably about 25 Mark Jewelers in the in that run. So I mean, up to 300. But I'm really looking for like the Mark Jewelers in the earlier issues. Speaking of which, why don't I just show you a few of these Mark Jewelers that I have?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I got the 107 Mark Jeweler here.
Nice.
I have the 109 Mark Jeweler here.
That's first. What's his name in it?
Yeah, like what would you say, like Vindicator or
Yeah.
he's got like 3 names.
Yeah.
Something cool like I like about these is it's like a matte finish, like it's not glossy.
I was
The
gonna say
older
that's weird.
Mark Jewelers, yeah, I think like around this issue, or somewhere in between this and 20, I think it changes. Um,
Okay.
and now A1 Aaron comics, A1's comics on Instagram. He is also a Mark Jeweler collector, definitely like way above me as far as his collection of X-Men and his Mark Jeweler copies. So I look up to him big time, and he's actually he just sold me a copy of 95 Mark Jeweler that is in the mail now. Oh, I also
Oh,
have like, so
nice.
here's a couple of 109s that I have, the Pence version and just the standard like higher grade copy.
Okay.
So I try to like get like one high grade copy. The Mark Jeweler, like I'd like in like at least like a fine, but I'm okay with like
Okay.
a very good if I just don't have the copy. But yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to get those in at least a fine, and then I want like one high grade, like 9496 of the entire run, because I'm a total snob. Here's a 114. I have all of those too. Okay. Oh, okay. So 114 is
But they're
gloss.
shiny.
Yes. So somewhere between 109, somewhere between 110 and 114, because I have a 110 Mark Jeweler as well, and then I also have the UK price variant and the standard high grade.
So did the Mark Jeweler start off as matte and then go to glossy?
Yeah, and before Mark Jeweler, it was, I can't remember what it's called, National Diamond Insert, something like that. Somebody in the comments probably knows. I actually don't have any of those, but I believe as far as the X-Men run, it started somewhere in the reprints. I don't think they had any of those diamond ads in the regular series, like up to 85, I think. Or is that right? Yeah, 85. When it comes to the Silver Age X-Men, by the way, I'm not crazy about it. I don't need,
Okay.
and I'm convincing myself this because I don't want to pay the money to get the full run, like Colossus Collector is. I honestly, I want that shit. I want the whole run, damn it. But I'm telling myself, I'm convincing myself, the stories suck. Who needs it? They do. If you ever read that, that's something you'll snooze to. but when it gets into the Neil Adams stuff, it does get pretty interesting. So like I'd say like 50 and on. I know Colossus, he knows. Like I'm gonna go overboard and just get everything. It's
So
true.
so let me ask you this, because there is a time period, and I always get it mixed up, and I'm sure you know, and I'm sure Colossus knows as well. But there's a time period in those original X-Men that like they're reprints of earlier books.
That's
So
right.
would you skip over those? Are you not interested at all in collecting those? Or would you rather have those instead of maybe going for the earlier versions of them?
No, no. The I've had the reprints and I've sold some of them. I think I regret selling a few of them because they were like pretty high grade and I just like wasn't into it. Like because I'm really into the Chris Claremont um, run. So
Okay, I
so
got you.
I wanted to focus on that. I think maybe
Yeah.
like eventually, like the way that my philosophy is kind of like I am paying attention to those Silver Age issues and like the reprints even, and I'll buy them if the price is right. But I just figure like my eyes are always on those issues that eventually like the deal's going to come along where I'm like I can't pass on this, and I'll get it in like a lot or like I'll buy somebody's
Mm,
collection or something like
yeah.
I don't buy collections like, or I'm looking for collections on the regular, but I'll get lots. And I have bought like a couple collections before. Um, I really don't like sifting through those anymore. It was really fun at the beginning, but now I prefer to just buy like a single issue or, but it comes down to, right, like what comes up and what the sweet deal is.
Got you. Got you. Let me stop you real quick. Let's say hello to Larry
Yeah.
properly, because he
Thank you.
spoke earlier. What's going on, Larry? Thanks for coming out.
Yes.
Appreciate
Reach out to
you.
me, Larry,
Yeah.
please.
Renegade says smash the like button, kids. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And now I have 3, and
Yeah.
that's hilarious to me. Come on, Renegade. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Bring them up, baby.
Let's see. There was something. Oh, Beck Neptune. What's going on? Thanks for coming out, lady. Appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. Yeah, that's it. I've been highlighting all the other comments, so we've had a few funny
Awesome.
ones. They've been pretty great. So cool. All right, so you're a Mark Jewelers guy, and of course an X-Men guy. Hence the name of your IG.
Yeah.
What?
I always talk shit about Mark Jeweler copies. That it's just like it's just an insert. It's exactly the same. Why do you care? Like, and I'm not even like, it's not like I was in the military. Like I, really care. It's just like, it's just something that evolved.
Yeah.
And, because it's just harder to find those. Hey, thanks, Beck. I'll get you back
I was
for
gonna say
that.
it's because of the rarity.
It's because of the rarity. Yeah, it is. And I don't see them that often. And if I'm being like, if I think about it, because I do pay attention to like the value, Mark Jewelers are probably like more expensive now than they even were in 2022. And I think that like a lot of
Oh,
that has
nice.
to do with what's that?
I said, oh, nice. Like that's cool that they've gone up
It's
since
cool, but
22.
I've only bought them like this year. So if I was like going to give investment advice, which I wouldn't, I should probably like just sell these, right now because, but the thing is like, I do really genuinely like the rarity of it. And so in this case, there's like a little exception. Cause usually I do want to try to make the right financial moves. And that's why I'm trying to wait for the deals, and things like that. I'm very like frugal about my spending.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, when I'm buying comic books. Like, come on, that's not super smart. Ridiculous, actually. Like, I can never criticize anybody for like spending their money on whatever because this is ridiculous. Back to the Mark Jewelers.
Okay, but like,
Oh yeah,
So why then do you hang? Do you think you won't be able to get the same copy at the same grade you've had already, or is it just because it's just hard to let go? Like what does hold you back from getting rid of your Mart Jewelers?
Yeah, from like selling them at like market
Yeah.
value. Um, oh, probably because like I'm a hoarder and like it's hard for me to let go of a copy until I have another one. So I
Mm.
have finally decided, like in 2022 when I started my Instagram account.
Yeah.
I was finally like starting to get ready to let go of my duplicates. Actually, it probably wasn't until like last year that I could finally let go of the duplicates. Um, but it's still really hard for me to let go of a copy that I don't already have a second copy of,
Mm.
if I know that I want to keep it. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I have done that a couple of times, but only with the ones that like I know I see all the time, and it would be super easy for me to replace. But when
Mm.
it comes to Mark Jeweler copies, it is for the keys. Yeah, they don't come around all the time, or when they are around, their market value or whatever. So, like for example, this is probably just in like a 5 condition, um,
Okay.
and I would imagine that this would probably cost like I don't know $100 or 150 maybe, maybe less. But I want to like if I find this in this condition, like I want to get it for you know less, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
deals on the Mark Jewelers don't come around often, and I guess that's like how I'm always trying to buy, right? So that
Yeah.
makes like it's the protect my investment kind of a thought.
Is it to protect more of your investment or protect more of your collection?
Ooh, not getting rid of them, like not selling it now because I think that
Yeah.
it's like inflated in price. That is because I'm trying to protect the collection. But
Mm.
when I buy it, I'm protecting my investment.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. Wasn't that the first appearance of Alpha Flight? The
Yeah,
one you just held up?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. First appearance of or like they call it the cameo. Um, you know, but this is the one everybody wants, right? This
Right.
is
Right. It's
yeah,
the one the market says. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. And then I always got to have like my high grade copy. Um, it's weird, like, and then there's some like this one does have a weird flaw. Like, I'm not gonna take it out. It's like it's basically like to me like a 9.8, but there is a fingerprint like right there, like a smudgy fingerprint, and
Okay.
like I just never know like is that a 9 or is like it a 9.6? It's like not worth sending in for me. So it's like, and it's kind of sexy to have like a raw, really high grade copy. So that's why I kept that one like that.
I'm gonna say hello to Crazy Hungarian in the house. What's going on? Thanks for
What's
coming out. Beck Neptune is wanting to get a Terrificon group together. So
hell
all
yes.
y'all
Oh,
Terrificon people, as well as
oh man.
Renegade. And Beck
Yeah.
Neptune has a question. She says, "Any favorite recent pickups?"
Well, thanks for asking. The uh, I just yesterday bought an X-Men 12 dog shit copy, like tape on the spine. I've never owned one though. It's the first Juggernaut, but it is thrashed, like pieces missing from the corners.
Yeah.
But it was under $100, and I've never seen that copy for that price. So, um, again, with the it's I'm a snob and I like higher grade copies. I was always planning on getting a 12 and
Mm-hmm.
like an issue 12 and like a maybe like a fine grade, like a 6. But fuck it, I'll take that. Like so, and then sometimes you got to buy it at a really low grade and then see like, hey, am I satisfied with this? Because maybe I am. and there's certain like low grades that I'd be okay with. Like a thrashed copy is okay as long as it doesn't like smell bad. If it smells bad, it's out of my house. Like, you know what I mean? But it can be in perfect condition. If it smells like mildew or like butt or like cigarette or something, like I can't even have it in the same box or in my same room. Like I really can't stand that.
I'm with you on the cigarettes and the mildew. Like I'm
You're okay
100%
with the
like
butt smell, is what you're saying.
right. The butt smells, I feel like that will air out and go away. Like but cigarettes and mildew I feel like will taint the other ones in the box.
Yes, it does feel like that. And honestly, like the butt and the cigarettes, you're right. If I left it like in the other room and like put some, what is it, the baking soda or something around, I'm sure we
Yeah.
could get that's not. But the mildew, it's just something I don't even want to mess with.
That
Yeah,
I'm
but
100%.
I mean, anything smelly, yeah, it's got to smell
There.
right. I mean, smelling
Do
is part of the experience.
no, like no, 100. I'm so guilty of like getting an old book and like when I'm doing the page count or something because I bought it off eBay, being like
Mm-hmm.
I have to smell it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's definitely part of the experience for me. So, and I know I may be a weirdo for that, and that's fine. But I'm just being real. Like that's
I
that's
dig
what I
it. Yeah,
do.
no, for sure.
What I'm curious about this copy that you bought because I have quite a few copies that if it's either a run or something like that. Like I'm thinking more along the lines of like my Justice League or my older Brave and the Bold books, where like I have some where the spines are tattered and things like that, just like what you're saying with this X-Men. And like it's one of those where like I've gotten really good deals on them, so I've gone ahead and pulled the trigger with the intent of later on upgrading. Is that your same mindset?
Yeah, like so with for example, like with the 12, um, I do hope to have a higher grade copy, but I want it in the collection and see how it feels when I'm holding it. If I feel like this isn't enough or I don't like this when I'm flipping through, because when you're flipping through your collection and you'll come across a copy where you're like, you get this bad feeling about it, then yeah, it'll be an upgrade. Um, but that's again like when I buy those lower grades, I want to make sure it's a good enough deal so that I know that I can sell it for at least the
Mm,
same price that I bought it for. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and the hope is like there's enough, you have enough equity on it that you can give another deal, like that you can sell it at lower than, I mean, you have to sell your comics at under fair market value, I feel like, unless it's like a super hot book. You have to sell it for under fair market value if you want it to sell. That's at least um, from my experience. um,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to take a cut, right? Like if you're selling it on eBay, you're gonna take a percentage off.
Right, right. I got you. Is it a? Do you feel the need? Like, are you able to enjoy the book for a time period before the need to upgrade that book, or is it like you get it in, you're like, this is fun, but man, I want a better copy of this. Like, I want to see if one's out there.
I think that it definitely is like that. Like you'll get a copy and you'll probably know right away, like if you're okay with holding on to it, or you want to get, or that if you want to get rid of it right away, or if this is good enough for now,
Yeah,
um, because things change. When you're, I don't know what everybody else does, but like every so often when I have my time alone with my collection, I'll light the candles, turn on some music, turn down the lights, and I'll flip through the collection, and you get there. It's an emotional feeling that you're getting, right? And as you're flipping, you know, you'll see copies. Oh yeah, I remember this. Like I don't feel the same way about this copy that I used to. It's a constant process of what would you call it? Like curating your collection.
mm, yeah, yeah. I
So
got you.
if I get it in my hands and I think this is okay for now, like I'm happy with this, then I'll put it away, reassess later. But
Yeah.
I think most of the time you kind of know, like right when you get it, like are you comfortable with this being a part of your collection or not? And I separate my comics into 4 boxes, like my run collection. That it's like this is the tried and true. I know I'm keeping these. There's the like high value other comics that I want to keep because I like them and they're good value. And then there's my low value, but like there's so much nostalgia to it, and I know I want to keep it, and they have a lot of memories to them. Low grade doesn't really matter. It's just like this has a memory attached to it. And then there's like the sell box, like the I let's get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you telling me that your collection is compiled into just 4 boxes?
Oh no. I mean, I have like 8 short boxes in the back, 2 long boxes here. Like my keeping collection is 2 short boxes and 2 long boxes. I'd like to get
Okay.
that just 2 short boxes. Ultimately, like my goal is to have it, really small, easy enough that I can carry it all in one carry.
Okay.
Short boxes is my ultimate goal long term. But yeah, right now it's 2 long boxes, 2 short boxes, and then I have maybe like 9 short boxes of things that like I want to get rid of,
Wow. Wow. We need to talk
or
more.
that I'm like willing to get rid of because like if I want it again, I can get it.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's just like I just don't have that emotional attachment to it, but I have them.
To go back on when you were talking about curating your books and you were like, lighting candles and turn on music, like the only thing that I could think of is that like I don't know, the Instagram noise of like you know what I'm talking about? That
You mean
song, the
I'm
Wham song.
only thinking of like when like a terrible Peruvian flute is trying to play like "My Heart Will Go On" or something. Is that what you're talking about? Like a shitty version of an epic song? Wait, what?
Well, it's like
I'm
it's the
screaming.
Wham song of like
Oh, "Never Gonna Dance Again" by
yeah, yes, thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
But it's the like the squeaky version of it that's on IG
Yeah,
where it's like
yes. Okay, that is. So we are on the same wavelength here. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um,
that's what came to mind.
Yeah, you could totally sum it up like that. It's you have your beautiful song, and then you're like, this is what the hell am I doing? Um, every day of my life is like as a reconciliation, as a trying to figure out like what the hell am I doing, and
What?
what
What?
like I got to get rid of this shit. So um, yeah,
Christina Payne is in the house. What's going on, lady? Thanks for coming out. Pizza Rat Collects is in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you. Christina says, remember to hit the like button. And Pizza Rat has a question for you, Dan.
yeah.
The real question is, Dan, are you an X Factor guy?
Nah, I like Beast. I like no, dude, like it's like, and not to say that it sucks, because I don't think it sucks. I
Yeah.
think that X Factor, New Mutants, like some of these other like spin-offs, like they're great, and Chris Claremont did a great job writing them. They're just like I have such a small bandwidth, and I can only handle so much storyline, and so many characters at a time. I just stick to what I'm vibing with, I guess. And yeah, I've never really gotten into the X Factor run. Yeah,
Nice.
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry?
I'm sorry for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. If you do, yeah, it's just not for me.
Mr. Aiken says he wants 100,000 in the collection, just like Reggie collects.
Yes. Dude, he's close. Mr. Akins is close. He's got a library back there. Dewey Decimal System, I'm sure, is how he organizes those.
Oh, you have the whole run of X Factor, Ryan? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, I'm sure that he like bought it all in like one collection, and now he's like, I have to read all of these. What have I got myself into?
I figured he'd have the Omni of it.
See, that's a smart thing. The thing is, I'm so weak, I cannot even hold an omnibus. That shit is like, it hurts my arms. They're gonna fall asleep, if not myself, while I'm reading it. So that's why I prefer the trade. 6 issues, perfect, for me to hold at a time.
Are you worried about putting it in your lap because you think your legs will fall asleep? Like it'll just cut circulation off?
Like I would probably read it like in bed. And if it's on your knees, like you have to like tilt your head, like so you want to hold it up. But I can't hold that up. It's too heavy, So yeah, you'd have to put your knees up and then rest it on your knees. You need like several pillows, I'm sure. Too much work.
Just get some stirrups added to your bed.
Stirrup.
Like, what women put their feet in whenever they're giving birth. The stirrups.
Just get a stirrup.
Just do stirrups.
Dude.
You're speechless. I love it. Oh, shit. All right, show us some more books.
All right. All right, well, here, let's get into some of the Silver Age comics I really like. Love X-Men First Sentinels. I mean, gosh, like the Jack Kirby, like craziness with the hands all up in your face. And, I just love Sentinels have been a huge part of X-Men. And so it's just always, this as something when I was younger, always looked up to as like, in my mind as a kid, a grail. So it's like really happy to own that.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm a hoarder. Been loving the X-Men 50s. I gotta get rid of some of these because I need. They're not variants, right? And I need all of the variants. So I feel like I could probably sell those and get money for the other stupid things that I like to buy.
I was gonna say that was a really hot book like 2 or 3 months ago. Dude. Like,
I mean,
even now, like that book still holds value.
Oh, totally. My friend Rohan hates the cover. He loves 49. He's a total hipster. Rohan, Absolute Game of Nerds.
Yeah.
Or rather, on IG, he's back in the game comics. No, he doesn't hate it. He thinks it's cool, but he thinks it's overrated, right? And I mean, it's a awesome cover.
Oh yeah,
the colors, the composition of it, it's amazing. But it wasn't worth this much, like 5-10 years ago. It was just like 49. I think was worth more. So it's like because that was the first Lorna Dane. Polaris. So it's like this is just a great cover in her first cover issue, but like I think we're all kind of the market is evolving to love these the cover appearances. Like you mentioned, it's like a new style of collecting, cover buys, cover collector, right?
Well, and like that's also issue number 50. And I think people have a thing where like if it's 50, 75, 100, like
that makes sense. Yeah, it's a what's it called, like a milestone
right
copy.
Yeah, but definitely like the cover alone, like the cover, and people seem to really like that character. The speculation of that she may be coming on to X-Men 97, like a lot of things going on with it. So
right. I mean, she's an interesting character, right? Magneto's daughter. Okay, I love Sauron. It's probably like, I mean, it's like my, not ironic, like it's unironically like my favorite villain, but I mean, it is kind of ironic, I suppose, because he's like, he's just a sort of B style villain, but dinosaur, mind control, and then the tragic tale of like, I didn't mean to do it. I was just possessed. Or, like
Yeah, yeah.
basically, if you didn't know, it's like Dr. Carl Lycos is like a good guy. And he's just like, will, turn into this soul sucking monster occasionally. And the X-Men always forgive him. They never learn their
It's
lesson.
okay, buddy.
And it's a fun reoccurrence. It's just a romp, it's great.
Who's a better villain in your opinion? And let me just go ahead and ask.
Yeah.
Sauron or the Lizard from Spider-Man? Because they seem like similar characters, different but similar.
Oh, totally. Right. No, same sort of like I transform into this monster and sorry about that. I'm biased. I love Sauron, but there's no doubt that the Lizard is more well known and has the longevity, and a history. So it's like, if I'm putting my stock money into something, it's Lizard, but I'm biased. I'm definitely going Sauron. Thank you.
Sounds
Brian,
like Sauron is overlooked then, in my opinion.
I definitely think so. Like, go for those. I was gonna say like wait until he goes into the MCU and then that book's gonna skyrocket. How many times have you heard that shit? Like, shut up. Like they don't have time to put every character in a comic. Like, speculate on whatever you want. I like Sauron. I'm gonna buy it, but like, if you're gonna speculate, go for like whatever you enjoy. Whether it happens or not, you'll be happy. And
right.
What the hell's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Nice. Should I move on? Thanks, hey, Brian's always got my back, my man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, another hoarding issue for me.
Oh wow. That's a solid book, though.
I love Days of Future Past, especially 141. So anytime I see those in like that I feel like is a good price, I'll pick that up. I popped this one out of a slab, so nice. I could get this signed by Chris Claremont. It was like I felt like this was at Terrificon. I was standing in line with let's see, Ryan, Justin, Mike was ahead of us in line, JP, Bruce was there, I believe, and and by the way, Terrificon, fantastic. You guys gotta go, such a blast. So this one I got signed down here because I never really liked him covering the trade dress, so I asked him nicely. He didn't seem to have a problem with signing down there.
He stared you down. I saw the video.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like made a bad joke about like how he's old or something like that. Or no. It actually had nothing to do. I realized after I said it that it could have been a bad old guy joke. But at the time I was just trying to say, just remember that to write the right thing, it's 2024. That's what it was. I just wanted to make sure, like, okay, you got a pen, so you can't erase that. So it is 2024. And then I realized when he gave me the whole, look, is when I realized I fucked up. But that was a really fun memory. So
it was at that moment he knew he fucked up.
Dude. Honestly, the moments that I fuck up are like some of the most memorable and fun moments of my life. So let's just keep that up.
You will never live that down. Shout out to Travis Comics Limited. Appreciate Thanks, you coming by. Whew, man, that was funny.
Walt Simonson was around. That's right.
So was Claremont a cool guy?
I mean, I only had a short interaction with him, and it seems like he's very, I mean, everybody knows these different stories about him, but for me, it was a great time. He was he's very kind and accommodating. It seemed to me, and he also, and it seems like, he has that like British kind of humor where it's like he'll give you shit right away, and you kind of got to be ready for that. Like if
Yeah.
like some friends will like kind of like throw a little, shade your way, and if you can like
Yeah.
go along with it, it's all good. But you could totally take it the wrong way,
Okay.
or rather, like, like at least that was my perception. So yeah, I thought he was a really nice guy, and um, but like yeah, everybody I'm sure has their moments. Because I've heard some stories too that are like this was awkward as hell, right? And so if you're ready for an awkward moment, you'll be fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. Ryan's video, Colossus Collector's video on Terrificon has that on tape of that
I think
interaction.
that's where it's all at.
Right. It was great. It was so fun. I'm so happy that he got that. So another book that I have a whole bunch of, if you don't mind me.
Oh, nice.
And this one I had to get all of them. I think Mike mentioned it on your channel before on this show. Got to have the Pence. You got to have your newsstand. And then I have the, oh, is this the one? Sorry, that's the newsstand. And this one is the Mark Jeweler copy. And
Okay.
this one I also got signed right there. Silver.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Ryan, for your marker. Chris Claremont, Mark Jeweler there. And I got the direct edition as well.
Yeah. How do you feel about slab books? That's the first one you brought up. So what's your thoughts on slab books?
Yeah, I think that it's a loaded question. Like,
It's how you
love them or
collect
hate
them.
them. Is that what you're...
No, I mean, like, do you enjoy them? Do you just get them just because? Like, is it, like, it's all about how you collect. There's no wrong answer here. So
I think that it is a great service, especially for like rare, high grade copies. When you're talking about hundreds of dollars, to me, like that's a lot of money. I know for a lot of other people, there's a different threshold where a comic deserves to be slabbed. For some people, it needs to be at least $1,000, $2,000, which totally I understand that. So it's just kind of for what I feel like there's a lot of levels to enjoying a slab, and there's a lot of levels to enjoying a raw copy. For example, something that's great about a slab is you can send it in and see if you were, right about the grade, or maybe you don't know what grade it is and you've always been curious, and now you get some third party telling you what they think it is, and that's valuable, and it's fun. And there's also, when it comes to raw comics, of course it's fun to flip through the book and see what the inside is. That's what it's all about, right?
yeah,
And so generally, if I get a slab, like I will miss having a raw copy, so I like to have, an under copy, so that I can also flip through it and remember what's inside.
Yeah. What drives you to buy a slab then?
I'm trying to think if I've ever bought a slab. I did buy one slab once, but it was because it was a good deal, right? So
Okay.
I've never bought. No, that's false. I have bought a slab at fair market value, and that's one of those regrets that I've had. And I think after that, I learned I don't think for now, I don't think I'll buy a slab. I'm not going to say never, because maybe I will if there's something I really, really want. But I don't think I'll buy a slab at fair market value, because I enjoy finding high grade copies that I could slab. Like anybody else, I think.
Yeah.
None of us want to pay too much, and none of us, I think like the only reason I would buy a slab now would be like if it was something that was very rare, and it just doesn't come off very often. And I would need to really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So was that X-Men? Was that one that you sent in?
it is. Yeah. So I
Okay.
bought it
And
raw, and then I knew it was really high grade. In this case, this was like I think I've gotten better at grading, but at that
mhm.
time, I thought that it would be like a 9.2. Um,
Oh, okay.
and
Nice.
I was okay, and I was thinking, okay, if this comes back a 9.2, a 9.4, I think in my mind I was thinking it was around $200 at the time, and I had a few other copies, and I thought, hey, if I can get $200 for this, um, I'll sell it because I know I can find a nicer copy at like 150 or whatever.
Yeah. Did I lose you? Did you lose me? Oh no. Am I still live? Anybody in the chat? Can you? Oh no. Did I lose Dave or did Dave lose me? That's all well. Oh, there it goes. Thank y'all very much. I mean, he's right in the middle of something. I was wanting to know what's going on. I had other questions. There was more books to see. Ricky's in the house. What's going on? He's just very still. Ricky, by the way, just letting you know, I've reached out to you through IG, trying to message you because I would like for you to come on the show as well. But I was very unsuccessful on IG, so I don't know what else to do. So, if you could return my message or not, if you don't want to come on, that's fine too. Then just don't return my message, and that's cool. But otherwise, I would like to talk to you about your collection. Thank you, Ryan. Travis, yes. Did it freeze for anyone or just me? I think it's everybody. I think Dan lost connection. Let's see. Sad. Yeah, same, right? Uh, you don't want me to sing. That's no good. Let it go. My youngest is big time. Like Frozen was God knows how many years ago now. Like I'm sure that's pretty freaking old. And my youngest is all about like she was all about Frozen. So I heard Let It. I thought, I had her at whatever time, and like I wasn't gonna have to deal with Frozen. No, no, the freaking the Disney sickness latched onto her, and we just kept going with it, and I was just like, oh, damn it. So yeah, I've heard enough of Let It Go. So I don't believe you. How much longer are you on? I mean, I try to stick around an hour and 30 minutes, and but sometimes it goes later. I'm very bad about going later. So, but I have so many questions. Is he Irish? Because we would definitely have that in common then. So, like, just saying, I would, if I don't like the conversation, I'll usually just wait till like eye contact is broken, and then I just kind of like mosey on. Brotherhood talk, yes. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. That's what I'm talking about. Brotherhood of Evil comic collectors. I had to switch from whiskey because I wasn't feeling well, and so I went with a mixed drink because I felt like if this decide, why am I all blurry? I know that's not me. I know I haven't drank enough to do that. What's this? There we go. Cool. Um, I was worried that if it decided to come back up, that this may be easier than the straight whiskey. So yeah, I went to Bacardi and Coke. And actually, I think it's making me feel better. So I'm all about that. Ricky getting called out. He wasn't getting called out. He wasn't getting called out. I took the opportunity. I saw him, knew he was watching, so I took the opportunity to sit there and just kind of like put a little bug in his ear because I really want him to come on here because he's got a freaking awesome collection and has like this amazing enthusiasm about his collection. And it's different than lots of other people's collections. So I had to take the opportunity is what it boiled down to. So Brother John's Comics in the house. What's going on, sir? Thanks for coming out. What's good, brothers and sisters? Got here just in time for the singing, right? More laughing, less singing. I was asking because I could jump on now. I have no idea how much. Oh, no, like, as much as I would like to right now, Dan's actually at backstage. So we're going to bring him back out. But please, please, let's talk. Let's talk over IG. I would love to have you on. Love to. I'm drinking a Natty Light. Don't make. Oh, I'm not gonna make fun of you. No. That's not fair. What in God's name happened? What did you do? Why did you tear stuff up?
I got scared, and I pulled the plug. And then when I heard there was competition that somebody else wanted to join, their internet connection is probably a little better. I said, "Fuck that! I'm coming back." Dude, of course. I never. Yeah, this never happens, babe. I swear.
It's not you. It's me. I promise.
Yeah. So I'm on my phone now. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway,
cool.
Yeah. So thanks for filling the dead air there, and my apologies.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure everybody loved that.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
No, Beck's absolutely happier that you're back than it was just me. I'm just letting you know, and I don't blame her for that.
Word. All right.
Cool.
What was I don't know what the hell I was talking about.
We were talking about slabs, but we can move on.
All right. Yeah. Let's move on. Speaking of slabs, though. Okay. Another one that I got slabbed.
Oh, nice.
X-Men 101. This was one that I had gotten 20 years ago or so, and I had got it raw, and I think I had always thought it was like a fine, like a 6 or something, because I guess when I first learned how to grade, it was what's it called? That book. Why somebody knows it. It's that book that tells you how to the Overstreet pricing.
Oh, yeah.
They teach you how to grade, and it's basically every single defect is one grade lower, is what I always thought. So or along those lines. So basically, I would start at a 10 or a 9.8, and then say, okay, now it's a 9.4. Now it's a 9.2. Now it's an whatever.
Oh wow.
That's how I always had graded my comics when I was 20 years old or so. Yeah. I always thought this was a 6, but thank you CGC for that. I'll just take you through a few more. So then I got my high grade X-Men 100, and then
nice.
Yes, and then I got a Mark Jeweler copy as well. This one I had picked up at, I couldn't believe it, Rose City Comic Con, and I couldn't believe it because they're not really my comic convention in Portland isn't well known for comic vendors.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 of them usually or so, and the prices are inflated and whatnot. But I found one dealer and I was with Mike from Lunch Money Comics, and a few other people were around. Travis, Comics Limited, Big Me McFly, but the people who were there at that time, Plagueis was there, and anyway, the people that were there with me were saying like musings, comic musings. He was comics musings and Mike, and they were telling me, hey, if you don't buy this, like, I'm gonna buy it. And the dealer there, uh, uh, MW Comics, I believe is what it is. Dude, I'm butchering all this, but anyway, the dealer was saying, "Ooh, is that a Mark Jeweler? Yeah, I didn't know that. So tell you what, I'll sell it to you at that price, but please don't buy it. Like, because I'll reprice that." And so, like, that was definitely enough FOMO for me to be like, okay, I'll buy this. So that was really fun.
I was gonna say that was what you were with, like Mike and them, and like you said, like they were like, "Look, if you don't buy it, we're buying it." Like,
Yeah.
but that was like, it was like Mike's video, but it was on Big B's channel or something like that.
Yeah, so it was on Mike's channel. Mike was there when I had just bought it, or like as I was holding it. And then afterwards, we all got together
Yeah,
at Mike's family's house in Portland, and we kind of just had a little, get together and showed, our pickups, and that was on Big B's channel.
that was
Yeah.
that was a cool video. That was a cool video. So you
Yeah.
had some awesome books you picked up too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was all from that one dealer, and I'm going to go back to that same dealer. I heard he was going to be at in Washington, in Tacoma, at I think it's called Grit City Con in Tacoma. I'm going to go up there on Saturday, see that vendor again, and looking forward to that. And
Nice.
then yes, and so I'm always looking for like these, the variants, the 30-cent variants.
Yeah.
Anything that's in my lane in this run, that's a little different, a little harder to find. Love that. X-Men 95. I was just saying I bought one from Aaron that's on Mark Jewelers. Now I'm going to have every version of this, including my only double cover copy is right here. Oh wait, that doesn't show you the double cover. There it is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this one was like one of my. Oh, I remember what I was saying before I got cut off. That for me, like the hunting, the finding these types of comics, that's like, that I get such a rush from that.
Right.
So for this one in particular, the listing of this one didn't. I'm probably not going to be able to catch this on the camera, but like I could see on the close up pictures, you can see kind of this like overlay between. Mm-hmm. It was kind of like that, right? Like you could see this very slight overlay, and it was kind of like overpriced for the regular version, but not too bad. And I was like, well, I'm willing to take the chance on that. And yeah, sure enough, it's probably one of my favorite copies, just because that's like so hard for me to find anyway.
I was gonna say I could see that being more rare than a Mark Jewelers, and so I would assume that's the appeal to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it falls in line with, that it's really hard to come by. And you're right, it is a lot more rare than a Mark Jewelers. And so the fact that it's a comic in the run that I love, it's rarer, higher grade or whatever, there's value to it. It's a key. It just hits all the marks for me.
Would you think about getting that one graded because it's like essentially like a cover type buy?
That's a great question. Like, I think that I would consider it, but the thing that I love about it is that I can flip it open just like that to show you,
Mm-hmm.
Now you can see, like, that's how I saw the picture. Like, if you look closely, you can see it's a double cover without it being open. And I would assume, I wrote the grade what I thought it would be. It's probably like a 7 on the inside cover, and maybe like a 6 on the outside cover. Maybe it's a little better, but like, do I want the slab that says 7 and then like double cover like right there, or do I want like the raw copy that it's okay if it gets a
Right.
little damaged, because it's probably not going to affect the grade. Like if I bend it a little bit, I'm not worried. If it was super high grade, yeah, I'd 9.2 or higher, yeah, I probably would grade it, but it's
Gotcha.
not higher than an 8. I'm probably just gonna just enjoy it now, and I'll reassess later. When I sell
Yeah.
it, maybe something like that to make because I'm sure that when I sell it, there's going to be some questions like, was it married? Did somebody attach another cover to it? Then
Yeah.
I'll need to go get that graded. Um, here is the.
Oh, nice.
Let me just
Since
take
you're
this
taking a
tape off.
moment to get that out.
Holy crap!
that's waiting for the sound drop. Yes, I got it, Mom. This
awesome.
Is the raw copy that I brought to Terrificon that has the splash page signed. This is another one that I bought, but I didn't know it had this 1978 signature from Chris Claremont. It
Wow.
says best Chris Claremont, and it looks so different than how he signs it now. So I was like, maybe that's not the signature, but from what I've researched, that's how he used to sign it. So I believe it's
Wow.
legit. And then just to be sure, then I brought it to Terrificon and had him do it again. And there's the signature, and he wrote his dot there next to the year. I think that was kind of signifying that he's got many more years to go until the next time, right? Until the next time I come and get it signed, 40 years later. That was how I took it anyway.
That's funny.
And then I have another copy because I have to. This was my first copy.
Oh, nice.
And I did buy this one in the slab. It's funny enough, like Ryan, the Colossus Collector, bought the same copy, X-Men 94, from the same seller. We both got our copies. I think his is also a 7. So we both got a 7 slab from Nefarious Comics in Canada. This is one that this is one that I don't regret paying fair market value for, even though I paid like $1,000 for it. So I paid $1,000. It's probably only worth like $600 to $700 now. But it's like, this was my first like big key after selling a bunch of my stuff to work toward this. So it was a goal of mine. I got it. Very happy. And again, to like feel better about it. Like, it hasn't been cleaned or pressed or anything. I think it's probably better than a 7 because a lot of the flaws are just bends that don't break color.
Okay.
But I'm holding on to it because like for example, one of the biggest flaws is like there's a little stain that you really can't see very well right there. And I just know that like because people are getting better and learning new technologies about cleaning books, maybe it can come out eventually, but I don't know anybody right now that could take care of that. So, and it's mine, so I'm just gonna keep it right here.
I was gonna say, would you want to have like a higher grade one before you cracked and pressed that one?
In fact, my goal is to get like a 9 in this book. So I'm on the lookout, but I've had a couple opportunities that I passed on, like that I kind of regret on like raw copies that were probably a 9. So I'm just going to wait for the right moment to get another one. And then I'll probably like just decide what to do from there, sell the other one at that point.
Got you.
So I was mentioning before, I don't buy. I bought a couple collections in my life, and one of them was the other goal that I was going for, which was
nice.
There. And there's a problem with it too, and so this copy
was bought in a collection, and the guy that sold it to me, he knew exactly how to sell it to me. He was a lot like me, wasn't a hustler, just a guy that collected. He said he found this in an antique shop, years ago, and he bought it for $100. And it's pretty solid. Like the spine isn't, is fully attached. There's like a little missing piece there at the bottom. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, pretty. Oh, and then there is a tear at the center of the book that does go all the way through. It's about a 1/4 inch. But otherwise, like, and it's a little yellow. But I mean, otherwise, super
Fantastic
glossy.
looking book.
Yeah, and then when I got it, it had Dave
Wow.
signature in it. So another like bonus that I was like, I have to have this. And the collection, it was just a short box, but it had all the X-Men that I love, and he hit the max price that I was willing to pay for it, and then afterwards, I thought like, man, this is so glossy, like look how shiny that is, and then I was like, something doesn't feel right, about this. Like it's almost like waxy, like when I rub my like finger across it.
Oh no.
And after like chatting and like looking up into like what kind of like restoration should I be looking out for? Because I was looking for the spine, glue, because I know that's common on this book. But I was talking with a few folks, but especially Dr. Paul from Liberty Hill Comics, who works with he has a YouTube channel, IG. He's on IG. He works a lot with conservation on comics. And we both kind of came to the conclusion that we believe that the cover was reglossed on this one. So that's kind of a bummer. But
that's a thing?
Yeah, reglossed. I think it was a popular restoration move in like the early 80s. And what it does is it basically just like brings the color out a little better. It brings the shine out. They spray it like with an aerosol spray, I believe. And it's considered restoration, and it is unremovable. So I'll,
Holy shit, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not common. Nobody does it anymore. So, even before I knew it was slabbed, Dr. Paul from Liberty Hill Comics, he had suggested, hey, do whatever you want with that book, but I recommend keeping it raw and just enjoy it, because it's a mid low grade. I think I graded it like a VG plus. So he just said just get it cleaned and enjoy it, and I really do like enjoy it that this is my copy that I get to flip through, see the Dave Cockrum signature, and it's possible the Dave Cockrum signature isn't real also. I care. I was gonna say I don't care. I care. I want it to be real.
Have you done research to see like what you think about it?
I think it's real. It looks real.
Okay.
I guess I just figure like if you're gonna fake it, why not put it on the cover? Or like why? I mean, there's a reason, because back in the 80s, like it was more popular to sign the inside.
Right.
And the restoration of glossing it up, like similar to other restoration, that certain restoration that is, like it was just done because they thought it made it look good, and they didn't think they were like hurting the value. It was just, you're just making it look better. That said, I'm gonna need an upgrade. So one of my goals is to get like an 8 on the giant size, and I think that's doable because it's such a common book, and you see it everywhere. It's always available. I'm hoping the right one just comes along at the right price, and that's a fun goal to aim for.
Oh yeah. Well, I still think it.
Holy crap!
Thank you.
I mean, I would love to have that book. Like, that's one book that I don't have that's definitely on like my, lists or whatever. And if I saw that, if it was the right price, I would totally jump on it. Like, just to have the book, you know what I mean? Like, first appearance of like Nightcrawler, Storm, Colossus. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Am I missing somebody? Yeah. So like. No, yeah, it's a fantastic book, and it looks fantastic. Like, even though it is, possibly, restored.
Yeah.
So
Hey, the thing is, if I don't get it graded, you never know. And same thing with the conference insurance. I don't know. Maybe, but maybe when if I were to sell it, the thing is no, I'm probably going to buy a slab or trade for a slab.
yeah,
And then this would be my raw copy. And I'm really happy with that. Until one day, I guess I do, I'm going to be old. I'm going to sell it. We'll see what happens at that point. But again, that's one of the reasons I want to kind of downsize into a smaller amount, sell them, while I'm younger and I have the energy. And then later it'll be easier to manage.
Let's say hello to Richard real quick in the chat. What's going on, Richard? Thanks for coming out.
He's everywhere.
Appreciate you.
Multiple man.
Let's see. He also says if you haven't hit the like button, don't hit it until Dan starts his YouTube channel. There you go. I mean, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Can't start an internet. I got internet issues, so I cannot start a YouTube channel. I'm not qualified yet.
Mr. Akins has a cool question right here I'd like to ask. His says, thoughts on hard cases instead of bags and boards for some of your more expensive comics?
Love it. I think that's a great idea. Like a top loader, or is what I'm guessing that he means, like a hard case.
Yeah, I would assume
as long as it fits in the box. I'd be willing to do it. But I'm happy with. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I assume either a top loader or like a comic capsule, both will fit in a short box.
Oh yeah, I mean, if a comic capsule fits in the short box, I guess I don't want to spend like $10 for a case, because I'm pretty frugal and I feel like I don't have anything that's like super well. Like I feel like the bag and the double board is good enough for me for the most part. But as far as like displays, like I usually will pop those in a top loader onto the wall, just because they could hit the floor. But since everything's in the box, I feel perfectly fine with the bag and the double board. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, Mr. Akins. Yeah, you should look at the comic capsules for your wall, possibly.
It seems like the comic capsules are all the rage right now, right?
They're super solid on the front. Solid on the front. Well, way more solid than a top loader. And then they're UV protected as well. So it's not the most highest of standards from what I understand as far as UV protection. And I'm getting that from information that I've seen from Immaculate Comics, who is like a chemist. So he's done all kinds of tests. Do what?
I'm glad that it's been tested, because that's something that I was always skeptical about hearing, because anything is UV. These glasses are UV protected. Because there's a space, there's a little something in between me and this and my eyes. But that I'm glad to hear that that there's been some studies on that. But yeah, everybody that I talked to, they like the comic capsules.
They're nice. And they have a spot on the top piece, so that you can hook it up to the wall, which you obviously have a setup anyways for that. But yeah, they're cool. So
yeah, I dig. And if you use this promo code now, you can save 10% on your.
Right? If I had one, no, I don't have one.
Yeah, right. All right. Here's another double that I got. I like the
nice
newsstand and the direct. I had a story with this on my Instagram. It was not this copy, but another one that I had sold and disclosed. I don't know if you've heard about this, but it was I graded it at a 9.2, again with the same sort of thought. Hey, this is going to be. I can sell this for the graded price and then pick up a nicer copy, because it had these defects on the bottom. It was crunched at the bottom. They gave it a 9.8, and I was like, it's not, doesn't seem like a 9.8 to me. But it said 9.8, and I was like, well, I got to sell this. But didn't want to, I needed to disclose that flaw, because I would feel pretty like a terrible person if I just kind of sold it for what it was. I'm not a terrible person. It is the grade what it is, but I felt kind of shitty about it. So reached out to Manu, 9.9 newsstand. He seems to like, he knows about those, like the difference in the grades. Like you have a solid grade or you have a weak 9.8 or a strong 9.8, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And, he had just suggested kind of what I was thinking, that, as long as we disclose, tell people, hey, this is a 9.8, but just to let you know, I see this flaw in the back. I don't think it's a 9.8, but it does say 9.8. So let's try to sell it somewhere between that 9.6 price, 9.8 price. And we had a buyer that was happy to, knew about the flaw and was happy to pick it up at that price. So, at a cheaper price than a 9.8.
Yeah. Not a problem then. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a copy that has a signature from not Todd McFarlane. That's one that I could use here, but here's from the writer rather. And this one I traded with Big B McFly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Terrible trade on my part. For all the things that I had traded, I was like, why? Like we were going through our list of, we traded handfuls of comics to each other. And it was just, when he was showing off the ones that I gave to him, it was like key after key after key. And I was getting like all these run filler books. And I was like, what did I? And he was like, I'll trade you back if you want. But, got to learn my lesson. I think like I was more willing to, I got this out of it. So I'm happy.
Right.
But I think like that was one of those like trades that I think it was the first time I ever traded. And I was just like, oh, this looks good. I guess this looks good. And just pulled everything out that I liked, but didn't really consider, even though like the value was probably about the same, I didn't consider that my goal was to downsize. And, everybody wants to trade ponies for horses or ponies for a horse,
Right.
And in that case, I didn't really, get what I was looking for. But that said, I learned a valuable lesson, and also like Bigby's a really good guy, and he wasn't trying to, he wasn't. We're friends, and we made sure that we were both happy. At least that we stuck to what we agreed with, and and ultimately I'm happy that it all went down because I learned a lot about what I really want. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
So it seems like you're more upset about, like, not even upset. That's not even a good word about it. You were
I was
more,
upset. I was upset at first. I've come
right, at
to
first.
reconcile. Yeah.
But at first, but it was because it wasn't a value for value thing. It doesn't seem like it was a, well, shit, I didn't necessarily want to let that go. Like it didn't register what you were kind of doing at the time.
Right. At the time, it was just, hey, this looks great. Like I just pulled everything that I liked, but at the same time, everything I was trading away, I really liked those things that I traded away.
Gotcha.
Like even though they were duplicates of what I had, I knew that they would be easy to sell. I knew what they were worth. It would have been easier for me to sell them. And ultimately the goal was to sell them to work toward getting that giant size X-Men. And so when I traded away all those, heavier dollar books for a lot of run fillers, it felt like I took a step backwards in my goal. Not to his fault. That was on me, because I wasn't keeping my goals at the front of my mind. I think I was just thinking, this is fun. And it was,
I got you. No, that makes total sense. No, I got you. And I think we've all done stuff like that where it's like, we get wrapped up in something and then we kind of lose focus as like what we actually are wanting to do. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
a lot of impulse, with that.
Yeah.
So you got to learn those lessons, right? If you're gonna, make steps to become the type of collector you want to be,
Oh, 100%. 100%. We've got Beck sitting there going to bed. Have a good evening and a good weekend coming up. Thanks for hanging out. We've got Mr. Akins. He says he's old and he's headed to bed as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Akins. And as they're headed out, we've got Comic Cap Clip Rich coming in there. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming out.
Hey,
Appreciate you hanging out with us evening. Cool. All right, so you just showed us a Hulk book, and And of course, it's iconic Todd McFarlane, Wolverine, all that jazz. I have to ask now. I have to ask. Hulk 180 or 181?
What's your question?
Which is the first appearance of Wolverine, in your opinion?
Oh, Hulk 180. He's on the last panel.
Right.
So that's the first appearance.
Okay, cool. I'm good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know where you stand.
If you got into the semantics of it all and saying like, well, is it the cameo appearance? Is it, that's a whole nother can of worms. But like straight up, first appearance, 180. I mean, I used to argue in the 181 camp. But I mean, but I think it was broken down enough for me to like understand, hey, first appearance is first appearance, There are some certain like nuances to the first appearance argument. Generally, like if it's just the shadow of somebody and they say a line, is that a first appearance? And then you add one more layer to, that's fun to talk about. But this is an easy one for me. And I'm glad that I can sleep at night knowing that Hulk 180 is the first appearance,
Yeah, those shadow appearances, I call those glimpse appearances.
Because not even cameo.
No, because I'm in the camp of, I believe that a first full appearance can be a cameo within a story. So 180 for me is absolutely Wolverine's first appearance, even though it's a cameo within the story.
Yes.
I first fully see him. However, X Factor 5 is a glimpse appearance of Apocalypse for me because he's in the shadows. I don't see him. His presence is there, and so I get a glimpse of him. But it's X Factor 6 when I actually see him, and then that's the other side that I'm at, is that for me a first appearance is when I can see a character and recognize them from then on.
Mm-hmm.
Once I can see a character and go back to, oh, this character was in this book, and go to the patient 0 of books, that patient 0, that's the first book for me. It's oh, I recognize that character because it's from this one right here.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. I'd agree with you there.
So, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I dig it. Yeah.
Sorry, I got us off track. You had the Hulk, and I was cool.
That's perfect. I love it. Yeah, it's and my opinion changes, from time to time, and depending on the definition of it, Now, cameo would imply that you don't see all of him. Okay. See, I remember I don't know if you're talking about this, Travis, Comics Limited, but I have heard some people say no, 180, Hulk 180 is the first full appearance because it's his full body from head to toe. That, I don't know, man. I can but in my opinion, I take the definition of full appearance as the stories of they're integrated in the story and they're a big part of the story. I know that that's a little loose, but that's why I'm perfectly fine with calling Hulk 180 first appearance of Wolverine. And also it's a cameo appearance. And then Hulk 181 is his first full appearance because he's fully in the story. He's on the cover. It's just and I mean, that's the money book. So it's and also it's it's nice to have just easy answers for these things. But it's fun to debate. It's really fun to debate that kind of stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't say the amount of body shown, necessarily means full appearance. Maybe it's the first full body appearance, but I'll digress on that.
Oh, see, now that's where I disagree though.
Oh, okay.
That's where I get into my glimpses and stuff like that. If I can't recognize the character from and go back to that whatever, then I can't count that because I don't recognize that. It's the first time that I see that character and I can recognize them from then on. Doesn't
Okay.
matter to me the amount of story that they're in. For me, anyways. For me,
Yeah.
because like I said, a character having a cameo within the story, that could still be their first full appearance.
I don't know if I follow that though.
No, it sounds like you don't, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm sure I would agree if I fully understood like what I'm interpreting what you're saying is that, like, for example, if Rob Liefeld created a character and you never see their feet, but they're in the entire like they're in the entire book, and you know who they are, that is a first full appearance.
Correct.
Okay. I was under the
However,
impression you meant you need to see like from foot to head
no,
to
I
define
just need to be
full.
able to recognize that character from that moment on.
Okay.
Venom's a good
Yeah.
one. There's several scenes in 298 where you see his hand, and you don't see his full body. Those to me, they're cameos within the story, but they're glimpse appearances because I'm only
Yeah.
seeing a body part. I still can't recognize that character. But 298, which is a lot like 180, the very end of 298 or 299, I apologize, 299,
Yeah.
you
That last
see
panel.
a full like head, torso. You could
Yeah.
recognize who Venom is from then on, and I'm like, that's the first full appearance for me.
Okay. Yeah,
Because even though it's a cameo within the story itself,
yeah.
I can still fully see and recognize that person from then on, or that character.
That's definitely like I would buy that, you know. I understand that. And I would agree that 299 is Venom's first appearance, because that's when he first appears, like when you see him and you recognize him,
Yeah.
right? Like his body
Yeah.
shape and like, you know, you see him. But I suppose 300 is the money book because he is in the whole issue,
Right.
and like we were mentioning earlier, like it's that check mark, you know, of the 300
Right.
number. Yeah, I dig it.
Well, and for you, it would be first full on 300 as well because he's in the story. Like that's his first full appearance in written story. So, and like it's just a potato, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I never like would get like pissed about it, but like
No.
but it is fun. It is a fun, like, you know, chat to have.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
debate. Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Yeah.
Son of Satan, Ghost Rider 1, Shadow Figure. I have to look into this. I don't know what this is.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, explain more.
Right?
Um,
That first appearance debate. Yes, Cliff, always. I got to get it in. Cliff is going to bed. Good night, Cliff. You have a good evening. Appreciate you, sir.
Good night.
hanging
Good
out.
night. I'll show. I know everybody's like splitting, so I'll show just the end of what I got here. Love myself from Wolverine
Yes.
also. And then I have the one that I brought to Japan right here. And then here's another one of the surprise
Ooh.
grades that I got on that one. This was same submission as the other two books that I was talking about earlier, the Hulk 340. That was kind of a gift grade.
Yeah.
This one, honestly, I'm looking at it and I think that it is, but there's a few little things, like it has that like tear, where you see that little brown spot right there. So it does have like, it's a flaw, manufacturing flaw, but it's a 9.8 and I'll take it, you know. And I'll keep that one, I think. And then I'll show.
Holy crap!
Thank you very much.
The 9.8 on the Wolverine one. Come on. That's a holy crap one.
I appreciate it. And then this one's probably like the most valuable comic in my collection is the
Really?
first Havoc. Yeah, it's kind of wild because, like I was mentioning, it's not like the Silver Age was my favorite, but I did really enjoy like the Neil Adams when he took over at the end of the run, and this is your first Havoc in a 9.6.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I got this one raw and submitted it because it was so high grade. That was one of the ones that it's like I can't just keep this raw. I thought
Yeah.
it was a 9.4, got the 9.6. There's just like 2 spine ticks, but otherwise, like, you when you see it and you're like, you've never seen a raw copy that nice before. That was the situation where I knew I had to, where I felt that passed the threshold to get it graded. And sure enough, lucky enough for me, it ends up being the most valuable one in my collection. And I was kind of asking, like, Instagram, what do you guys think? Because, I'm going for a Hulk 181. I could probably trade this, like, for a Hulk 181. Should I do that? And I got like a lot of people saying, like, no, you should keep it, because the great thing about a great X-Men collection is like those few books that you have that not everybody has, and everybody has a Hulk 181 who collects X-Men
Right.
stuff. And you just don't see that around often. So I am kind of like, I'll wait for my opportunity where a Hulk 181 comes up for me, which I don't own, or that giant size X-Men, and then I'll get those when they come around. But I know that like this one comes around a lot less, so really happy to hold on to that and kind of be like the centerpiece, surprisingly, of my collection. Yeah, really feel very lucky and fortunate and silly and like kind of like I don't deserve it and a fraud. You ever feel like that? Like,
What?
Let's get into this. Let's lay it out.
Yeah.
Just like that, like there's so many people. I mean, there's so many people that like would love to afford just like one Mark Jeweler copy, right? And I own like so many of them. It's like I don't need them. It's like I'm spending my money on this crap. I'm sorry, like it's lovely, but it's like there's a lot of problems. Like a lot of people have a lot of problems, and it's like, this money could be used for better things, but it's my money and it's my things, and I'm selfishly using them for this chasing collection that that I've always wanted. So I guess I just mean that like it doesn't, it means something to me, to be able to own those and these. And I recognize how spoiled I am, like by doing so. And it's a little conflicting, to be honest, like owning a valuable like this that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Thanks.
I was gonna say we need to say hey to Mike Lunch Money Comics, and I agree with him. Keep it. That book is insane. Everybody that's told you, don't trade that for a 181. I follow exactly what those people like, and I get the whole everybody's got a 181. I think it's more of like there's gonna be way more, and what they're trying to say, which I'm sure is that like the opportunity to get a Hulk 181 is going to be far greater than you finding that Havoc at a 9.6 again. Like that, that is another holy crap book. Like that's insane. So like, no, there's no way I could sit there. Like if you were coming to ask me, not that you did or anything, but like no, you.
Thank you.
Because you won't get that. You won't get that book back.
Right. Right. And thinking that, it's great to get that perspective from you and Mike and the other people who have told me this, because sometimes you can't see, the forest from the trees kind of a situation. Like my goal was to save up money to buy the Hulk 181. So logically in my mind at the time, I should just straight up trade this. But when you think long term, you said it. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to pick that 181 up at a later time. So, but this one, later in life, I'll look back and be happy that I have this one.
Just off of like print count alone, I imagine that Hulk 181 is like far way more prints. You know what I mean? than that X-Men book. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah. Like I imagine, yeah, of course I don't know what the 20, or sorry, I was reading 20 on the census. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like it's what I think that I was looking it up. It was like in the, 3 percentile or something.
that's a lie. Hold on. That's funny.
Maybe.
Do you?
Yeah.
I want to get back to what you're saying about basically the guilt that you have. It sounds
Mhm.
like for your collection, but like, do you press and clean your own books?
No.
Do you have a press and cleaner, or do you just?
I do. His name's Lee on Instagram. He's KKL_comics, and
Okay,
he lives up in Vancouver. So he's a short drive away from where I work, right near the airport there
nice.
on the border. So between Portland and Vancouver, we're like the cities that are like that touch each other between the border of Oregon and Washington. And so I just found him on Instagram and meet up with him. I'll drop the books right off. What did he say? 56. There's 56.
56.
I think 56 between 9.6 and 9.8. I think there's like 13 9.8s or 16 9.8s, and then like 30
Yeah.
9.6s or something. So
Man, that's
there's quite a bit,
insane.
but I want to,
No,
I
there's
do
not
believe
quite a
though it was like
bit.
in the 3 percentile or something. Uh, but that said, yeah, my presser. So anytime I would submit, I would send them to him. Or if there's like a book that I felt was really ruffled up, but not a lot of color breaks, and I knew that like the value was there to pay him for pressing and cleaning.
Right.
Just to have for myself, or if I was going to like flip something that just looks bad, but I know that I could get the return on that investment, I would use them for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you just sending these books in with no press and clean, like, I'm about to lose it. I'm about to go crazy because like these are amazing finds that you're sending in, on
Oh
top of
man.
like what they could be. So
No, yeah, I've had him press all of the ones that I sent in, except for I think I've sent in 2 didn't that didn't need a press. Like I was like very confident they'd be 9.8s, and they ended up getting the 9.8 without pressing.
nice,
Yeah.
nice. I going back to the, for lack of better words, I guess it's like it seems like your guilt that you have for your collection. I hear you and I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I also hate it for you, honestly, at the same time, because like yes, it's a hobby and it is a luxury, and I do feel like we need to like know that and understand that like that this, we should be grateful for what we are able to obtain and be able just to do in general, whether it be, get grail books and or just, high end books, or get a pull list on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all that stuff just costs money. It just does.
Right.
And money right now sucks. But at the same time, like
Tell me what I want to hear. I lay out the drama so that you can make me feel better about myself. So please.
bro, I imagine, because I don't like know you. I imagine you work hard. I imagine your wife works hard, and like y'all handle and take care of everything else in your house. And like if you work hard for something like that, for a goal, like be proud of that goal. Like I get it. I get the guilt or whatever, but at the same time, like that was the goal. Like you should be proud of that. You should be proud of what you've been able to do. You should be proud of what you've been able to accomplish. And like don't let the gratification like also be the thing that like brings you down at the same time. Like, you know, revel
I
in that.
appreciate that.
Like enjoy it, man, because you earned it. Like some people are in the situation they're in, some people because they earned that situation that they're in. Now not everybody, no, but some people did do that. You know what I mean? Whether it's good, whether it's bad, like that's just the way life is. And so like I want for you to enjoy what you're doing because, you know, like if you're not enjoying it, what's the point?
Yeah. I ask myself that every day.
Stop doing
No,
that.
I honestly, I really appreciate your words, and that does mean a lot to me. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, but I definitely like go back and forth a lot with I've always had just in life had problems like sticking to a decision and always questioning, if I did the right thing. And yeah, but I think ultimately, I do know that you're right. Like, I work hard. I make sure that I'm taking care of the basics to make sure that we don't, you know, get into trouble or I'm not, like my daughter's getting what she needs and my wife as well. And yeah. And so you're right. If I'm not enjoying it, or I should take the pride in the work that I've done to get these, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Because that's the end goal. Like, that's your end goal. You want to have this freaking amazing X-Men collection that has brought you joy over the years that you can, like, appreciate. And you can, like, it's almost like collecting it is like giving your appreciation back to those creators. Of, like, I've enjoyed this work so much, I want the best of what I can have from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like that. Feel good. Leave them feeling good there. Yeah. Don't let me question myself anymore here. Not tonight.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep in touch now. I'm gonna hit you up on your messages like once a month or something. Be like, yo, how's it going?
Yes.
You need kicking ass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you got any other books you want to show off?
No, that was. I got some. Nah. Let's just leave it. Let's just leave it there. I got some other things, but whatever. Yeah, I am working on getting. Well, I'll just say I'm still on that goal. My goal for this year was to get a high grade Hulk 181 or a high grade giant size X-Men. Didn't happen. It could still happen. I still have some of the money that I could get it with. But I am, speaking of enjoying yourself in the hobby, I found out that I am really enjoying keeping searching, keeping hunting, keep buying the same comics I've always loved to do. And then just occasionally do it when I'm lower on money after buying these comics that I love, I'll sell them and then do it over again and just kind of, because that's fun for me. I do really enjoy buying these comics and so I'm just going to keep doing that and try not to feel bad about that. And eventually the right comic will come along. And that's fun. So that's the plan. God, here. There, you like it. There's your Mark Jewelers. What else? There it is for you. Get out of here, Mike. Okay. You happy? You want me to rip this one out? You can send it in. Get your wife something nice. All right.
Is this what you want?
Yeah.
Are you happy now? Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, is this Mike. The longest collecting Uncensored of all time? Oh,
I'm going for it. Let's do this. How many more minutes we need?
You
told me an hour earlier, by the way.
I said an hour and a half.
My daughter's wondering where dinner is right now. Talking about taking care of what I need to take care of. I'm over here.
I'm starving your children. I'm so sorry.
It's your fault. Yeah. I'm not going to take the blame for that. So.
I think you have made it, honestly. Yeah. So congratulations.
Awesome. Ryan's just like a loyalist waiting to leave.
So you can leave a comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Sweet.
is great. Bro,
Yeah, I had a lot of
thank you
fun,
so
man.
much for coming on. I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Your
Dude.
freaking collection is fantastic,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I'm somewhat glad that you have other books to show off because like I'd love to have you back on in a later episode and like venture even more to like those books plus things that I'm sure you've picked up like in the in between time. So, but I know you don't have a YouTube, but you do have an IG, and you do like join other people's YouTubes, you know, shows and channels and stuff like that. So what do you have coming up in the near future?
I mean, it's all about Ryan the Colossus Collector. He's the big daddy, you know. So I'm
Big
just
Daddy.
he edit cut. Let's
We've already been clipped.
let's not. He,
Blame the
you know,
Brotherhood.
it's the fastball special. He will launch me, you know, whenever he feels like it. And, you know, I'll have only him to thank. But we're going to be on his Christmas episode. We're still trying to figure out an exact date, but that's going to be probably sometime in the first couple weeks of December. And,
Nice.
so still trying to figure that one out. And then let's see, Justin from No Good Comics. We're going to be doing a talk. I need to check my calendar again, but we're going to be doing a talk. I need to do some New Mutants reading. God help me, because I have a issue 24. I think is what we're going to go on. So I'm going to feel obligated to read all those to catch up. So that I'll be ready to talk about the issue on his channel. Yeah. But that's all I know for sure. And then as far as like my plans with collecting, I plan to do like my first pre-screen submission with CGC because I have a lot of like 9/8s that I'm pretty sure are 9/8s that you know, like even though they're only like $200 comics in a 9/8, I feel like if it's a 9/8, like you should probably slab it. That's just my thought. But not if it's a 9/6. You know, do not if it's a 9/6, but if it's a 9/8, oh yeah, for sure. So that's why I'm doing like a pre-screen on that. Ooh, and also, fingers crossed, might have an X-Men 95 in a 9. I'm hoping 9/6, but maybe
Nice.
9/8, but no,
Nice.
9/6 is what I'm hoping for on that one too. So just like going after those really high grade and having fun, you know, with a submission, you know, here and there, once a year or something like 10 books or something like that has been pretty fun for me. So, so just keeping that up and finding out what I like and realizing what I don't like and, you know, learning from guys like you, you know. So I appreciate you having your channel and you know, teaching me a lot. So.
Oh, well, thank you. I
absolutely
hope I take that as a compliment. I don't know what to say, but thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I've got, if you don't mind,
please,
some things I want to show off.
Oh yeah.
Of course, there's this guy right here. Fantastic collector that I'm super excited that I've had on this evening. So definitely go and check out Dan's X-Men Comics on IG. Link will be down in the description. Go follow him over there on IG. And also be sure to check him out over on Ryan Colossus Collector, and it sounds like No Good Comics as well. Keep an eye out. So I got Ryan on, I got him tagged in the description, so I'm sure that'll take you to his channel. And then No Good, you'll have to search him. Maybe I'll edit it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what he said. Dan, we should do a combo 9/8 submission. Ooh, hey. There you go.
Yep. Well, I know we'd have to do some like working around with the border there with and we can get this done. I think we can do this together if we work together. You know. great things will happen as always.
Nice. Next week, not next week, sorry. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, another Collecting Uncensored with John's Comics with Kids. Speaking of No Good Comics, right? John's Comics with Kids. Super excited to have him on there. I've enjoyed just the conversation that I've had with him over on IG. Talking about him coming on. That's been a blast. So super excited to have him on. Y'all come over in 2 weeks from now. And let's talk comics and collecting with John's Comics with Kids. Dan, thank you so very much for coming on, man. I appreciate this. This has been a freaking blast, and I've enjoyed it so much.
Same here.
Like I said, y'all know where to go find him out. Go sub him up or go follow him on IG. And thank y'all for hanging out with us this evening. I appreciate y'all. And as always, y'all have a good one.